Hey all you creepy cheapskates, welcome back to the Library of Horror Hotel. Come on in, have a seat, but please remain seated until the library comes to a complete stop. It's time for Creepy Cheapies once again, where we dig the art of Halloween masks and celebrate the art of Halloween masks and the imagination and style and the creativity that goes into the creation of those rubber Halloween masks you see every year. And I know we all have different tastes, but badness gracious me, if you don't like this one, that I have today to show you, I just don't know you anymore. You're not the girl I married, whatever that means. If you don't like this thing. This is a 2023 creation from the Creepsat the Horrordome, okay? And the Horrordome in 2023, among other monstrosities, brought us the Pumpkin Watcher. You might be thinking, why do I need something just to watch pumpkins? It's not that kind of pumpkin watcher. Kind of like, you know, when they call the predator an alien hunter, well, that doesn't necessarily mean he exclusively hunts aliens. He's an alien who is also a hunter. Well, see, this is a pumpkin who's also a watcher, you see. Or he can also be what you were thinking just then. He could watch the pumpkins, because if you're worried about the neighborhood brats and vandals and juvenile delinquents smashing the pumpkin on your porch, this guy will take care of that. This guy will make sure that won't be a problem. Now, the Pumpkin Watcher, again, from 2023. And I'm pushing it. I'm kind of breaking one of my own rules here. Forgive me, though, because he's such an exceptional beauty, okay? I'm kind of almost breaking one of my own rules here because I try to keep everything on Creepy Cheapies under $100. Because if it's $300, even if I think it's worth $800, I don't feel like I can call it cheap to most humans. So I try to keep it under $100 for the most part. And if it's higher than that, I usually just don't cover it on Creepy Cheapies. This guy costs about $100. I think he is $99.95, but he's worth it. If he's $99.95, he's 5 cents under the $100, or if he's $99.98, he's 2 cents under. That qualifies, right? Anyway, the Pumpkin Watcher is such a spectacular thing. I don't know who the sculptor was off the top of my head, because why would there be a sculptor on the top of my head, right? But look at the detail on this thing, and we will turn it around. I just got stuffed with paper there for the viewing on video, so you might say it's a pay-per-view. Take a look at that detailing on this thing and that crazy eyeball. And let me tell you, I did not do anything to the paint on this. This is straight out of the box from the Horrordome, and I think this is one of the better pumpkin masks. It's one of the more imaginative and strange and different ones, instead of the usual triangle features or something like that. Man, this one is pretty out there, and I love it. It's very imaginative. One thing to love about it is the fact that there's something sort of morphing going on. It almost looks like it's in mid-transformation from one stage to another, which is a hard thing to capture, but this sculpture captures it. And obviously that eyeball is amazing. The eye is great, and it looks just as great in person, probably better than it looks on your viewing monitor right now. And equally lovely, look at those teeth. Look at those teeth, individually hand-painted with a little bit of the brown tartar stain look at the root. I love that. A little bit of human shape in there because he has a nasal cavity, sort of like a human skull, but nothing else very human about him. Now, some of you humans out there might be thinking, they should have made the stem green. Why does he have a green stem? Pumpkin stems are green. Well, let me tell you, I think this was a good decision. If you can't tell the color on your monitor, it's brown. And I think that was the perfect decision. And I think it was a conscious, artistic decision to make the stem brown. Because if you think about it, if the stem was painted green, it would kind of draw your eye away from his eye a little bit. Because the whole image you'd see here, you'd see all this field of orangey brown, and then you'd see blue and green. and the green would compete a little bit with the drama of the eyeball, I believe. So I think it was a perfect decision to make the stem a sort of streaky brown. It's not the same color as the pumpkin. It's not orange. And it's different enough to look like a stem and to sell it on first glance as a pumpkin with a stem without being distractingly gaudy or too colorful for the rest of him, and without competing with that eye. It just helps put the idea in your brain that you're looking at a pumpkin, however weird and distorted and in mid-morph it might be. What would you wear with this thing? You could go with the ghillie suit type of effect. You could go with scarecrow clothes. I think what I would do is go with scarecrow type clothes, but not just old clothes kind of scarecrow. I think I would do something weird, like maybe some fall leaves and plants growing out of the clothes, something like that, to make it look extra unusual. You could put some Lord Grimley's Manor pumpkin scarecrow hands to go with it if you don't want to just use gloves, or spray paint your hands orange, which is always a possibility. Not a good one, but it's always an option. And again, I just have him stuffed with paper here. There are little viewing slits cut out. If you want to put this on your head, you could probably tell in the close-up. There are little slits for you to see out of right there. And let me see, is the nose cut? Yes, there are little holes in the nostrils there too, and some little holes between some of the teeth. So the ventilation's not bad. And as you can see, it's pretty large, and just about anybody, I think, is going to be able to get it on their head. It's very wide around the bottom where the opening is, and I'm a 6 foot tall, whatever I am, so I have a pretty normal sized head, and you can see it would fit me just fine and would be a big improvement. That's about all from us here at Horror Hotel for this week. Until next time, somebody please tell me I'm not the only one who thinks of 9-inch nails every time I pull up in traffic behind a Kia.